everybody, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to show you how to do aging using only makeup. So let's get started. So let's start this look off using the Conceal palette by MEHRON. And I'm going to go over the top of a fully primed and foundation face. It just blends a lot better over the top of foundation. I'm starting to make my bag lines underneath the eyes, and I'm deepening the eye sockets by also covering the lid and extending it out just a little bit further, just to give a little bit more depth to the eye socket. You want to make sure when you come down to the sides of the nose, you come around the nostrils of the nose and add a good amount of shadow on each side of the nostrils. As you get older, they start to become a little bit more sunk in. Coming up to the eyebrow lines, if you have your model or yourself, scrunch up your eyebrows, scrunch them together, scrunch up your forehead, and kind of follow those natural curves and lines of the wrinkles that your grimacing makes. It makes it a little bit more natural. Also around the eyes and coming down onto the cheeks, same thing. If you squish the skin together, you'll see where it folds, and it'll give you more of an idea as to where to put your lines and your wrinkle lines. So once I have all of my lines placed, I start to blend using the hard edge, soft edge technique. And what that's going to do is you're going to have a stronger, deeper line as your hard edge. And as you start to pull the product away from that line, which is going to come from the center of your face out, it's going to be your soft edge where it blends out to almost just your skin tone. And that's what's really going to give your wrinkles their definition, in addition to their highlights later on. So every wrinkle and every line is going to have a hard edge and a soft edge. Your hard edge, by rule of thumb, should always be the closest to your nose. And as you become further away from your nose, either up towards your forehead or out towards each eye, towards your ears, your edge is going to become softer. And this is going to give you your best results in your shading. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to start with the lines on the neck. This is an optional thing. You can either do it or not do it. Depends on how much of the skin is going to be showing around the neck. I like to do it because I think it just completes the look. I do a mixture of horizontal and vertical lines in the neck as our skin wrinkles in both directions in that area. It also helps with some shading later on and defining. Using the same palette, I'm going to start with my highlighting. Apply highlights that are lighter than the foundation. The areas should look fuller and pop away from the foundation color. To create an older effect, you want to make the illusion that the light is coming from above, reflecting off the areas of the face that are popping out, and the highlights are casting those shadows that you have already painted in. To make it look more real, the highlights must also have that hard edge, soft edge effect. They should meet at the hard edge and blend away from each other so that they have their own individual soft edge. Applying a thin layer of product over puckered lips gives you a mapped out template for adding wrinkle lines to the lip area. This also assists in making what are called smoker lines. And no, you don't need to be a smoker to get these lines and wrinkles as you get older. Just in case you were wondering. These lines are not symmetrical, so it's not something you have to worry about. And they're not even in height or width usually. You can make them thinner, you can make them a little bit thicker. The older you get, they get a little bit wider, and as you're just starting to get them, they're a little bit thinner. I kind of go in and I highlight in between a few of them here and there just to kind of give a little bit more of a realistic look to them. Now here, as you can see, the chin wasn't really pronounced. I really wanted to make that look really recessed, so I went in with the darkest color in the palette and I just kind of drew in above the chin line there and just blended it out slightly just to give a little bit more of a shadow in there. And you can see as you look at it now that it just makes it pop a little bit more. Going in on the cheeks with a couple more lines, smile lines. Having the person smile kind of helps you imagine where those wrinkles would be. You often see me pat with my finger on the product. It kind of helps blend it out, and also the warmth from your finger kind of warms the product a little bit and it makes it a little bit more easy to blend. I do find that I do that a lot, and just figured I would kind of give you the insight as to why I use my finger and don't always just grab a brush. I am, however, going to use a brush here, and I go in and I'm using the foundation brush by Unique because it's really soft, and it just kind of helps blend out a little bit of the harshness that I still had on a couple of the lines and a couple areas on the lower cheekbones that I just wasn't really crazy about, so I wanted to go back in and fix that. So now I'm just going in and doing a little bit of fine tuning, adding a little bit of darker lines where I want things to look a little bit deeper. I keep kind of looking at it and seeing where it looks more real, and just adding a few things here and there. What I am doing now as well is I'm taking a liquid liner by Unique in a blue shade, and I'm just going to kind of add some vein lines to the side of the face, around the eyes and the temples, a little bit on the cheek, and I will go down around the mouth. Once I get the desired amount of veining, I go in with a damp beauty blender and sometimes tap it right into some translucent powder and pat it on those lines and press it into the skin. You don't want to rub because you will actually remove the product, but by doing so and pressing it in, it'll actually make the veins appear to be under the skin. Another translucent discoloration are age spots, which are created with a reddish brown freckle color. These could be created by using a black stippling sponge, or like here, I'm just using the end of a thin brush and just kind of dapping. Remember, age spots should be random and they should also be very faint. So make sure you take your blending bud and push them into the skin to help blend them out. I went in and contoured around the clavicles and in the neck area just as a little bit of extra. It is optional, you don't have to do it. I did it just because she was wearing a tank top and wanted to kind of play with a little bit more makeup for her. Lastly, I'm taking some AIRSPUN translucent powder on a nice soft brush, and I'm going to gently rub all over the face. Not even rub, I would just say kind of graze or just barely touch, but I just want enough that it's going to set it. Using a disposable eyelash wand, I'm taking some of MEHRON's liquid hair white and just kind of gently brushing it across the eyebrows, and then I'm going to take all the baby hairs and all the flyaways that you see around the front of the face, and I'm just going to run the brush over them to discolor them and make them white, basically making it look like her baby hairs are turning gray. And then I'm going to obviously put a wig on her, which you will see, ta-da, there it is. So those baby hairs that we now painted are going to be able to hang within the wig, and you're not going to see any super dark hairs. Trying to maneuver the front of the wig so that it didn't totally cover up all the hard work that we did on the forehead wrinkles was a little bit more difficult, but overall I was really pleased with the look and she had a great time. So I just took her from 11 years old and aged her about 40 years. So that is the look. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure that you like the video, give it a nice thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more, guys, seeing a lot more of me. So I'll see you soon. Thank you again. Love you all.